Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. I don't have a math video today, I have an informational video, and from the title, you can see that it says Tasc test phased out. Last year, in the summer, one of my subscribers contacted me and she said that the Tasc test was being phased out in her state and it was being phased out August 31st, 2020. I didn't ask her what state she lived in, but I knew she was trying to pass her Tasc test before they phased it out. I was contacted, I can't remember, I think it was August, early September, by another subscriber this year, and the person told me that the Tasc test was being phased out. They lived in Indiana, and the Tasc test was being phased out by October 1st, 2021. And this sent up some red flags for me. So again, I went and did some research and found out that in Indiana, they are phasing out the Tasc test. Well, it's already phased out. It's October 20th. And Indiana is a little bit different from New York, and they were trying to get folks who have partial passes to go take those areas of the Tasc test that they failed and pass them, because when they go to their new test, and the new test in Indiana was the HiSit test, when they go to the HiSit test, anyone that had partial passes could not mix the two tests. They would have to start all over. So suppose you took the Tasc test and you only passed three tests and failed two, then come on October 2nd, all of that was thrown out and you had to start over from scratch. So you had to start off taking the HiSit for all parts. So Indiana was not mixing tests. They weren't saying, oh, you have 3 passes on Tasc, we keep those, and you just have to pass the 2 you failed in HiSit. They were not playing that game. So they were trying to get everyone who had partial passes to, get on board and take the test. For people who did not take the test, since they were moving to a new test, it was just a new curriculum. So this brought up red flags for me, and I started looking around the internet, and I found a letter that was sent to district superintendents, like high school equivalency programs and test coordinators and so forth. And this notice was sent October 1. And it says, please be advised that the State Education Department current contract with Data Recognition Corporation, DRC, to provide the New York State with a high school equivalency exam, which is currently the Tasc test, expires on December 31st, 2021. So DRC's contract with New York State is expiring. And with any contract, they can't just renew it like that. They sent out a new RFP for the HSC exam, which was released. But, and this is the most important information, but DRC did not apply, as they're discontinuing providing the Tasc and are currently phasing out all state contracts. So DRC is phasing out the Tasc test in all the states. Well, there aren't much that's left. It's just New York and Jersey. So New York has to the end of the year. I don't know when Jersey have to, but the thing with Jersey, when I say Jersey, for if you don't know, I mean New Jersey. New Jersey is fine. They're going to be all right. They're going to be all right, because in New Jersey, you have 3 choices. You can either take Tasc, you can either take GED, or you can take HiSit. So New Jersey going to be all right. They're going to be all right. If the Tasc is phased out, then folks over there can either go do the GED test or the HiSit test. But in New York State, there is only one test you can take for high school equivalency, and it is the Tasc. Now, what does that mean is that a new vendor submitted a proposal to provide a high school equivalency exam effective January 2022, which means no more Tasc tests. We're going to have a new vendor and a new high school equivalency test. Now, there has not been an announcement of who the new vendor is, okay, because the contract has not been finalized, and there are laws in New York State that says that, there are restrictions on communications during the proposal procurement process, and NYSCD is in the restricted period, and they are unable to provide any specific details at this time. So only thing we know is, one, DRC is phasing out the Tasc test. Two, the contract with New York State expires December 31st. Three, a new vendor submitted a proposal and they have been notified that they have won the proposal, and discussions have begun regarding the transition of the new exam. So right now they are in this discussion phase where they are discussing what I would call the terms and conditions. In 2014, when we were moving from the GED to the Tasc, there were a lot of terms provided, such as, because New York is a little bit different than Indiana, New York was mixing tests. So people who had partial passes on the GED, those were grandfathered. So all they had to do was to pass the test that they failed in the new test. And if they got passing scores, they were then awarded their high school diploma. So New York State actually mixed tests. So people who had grandfathered GED mixed with the new Tasc test, and guess what? You got your high school diploma. So right now they're going to be in that phase, like trying to think about, okay, are we going to grandfather partial scores from the Tasc test? So suppose someone does not pass all parts, will those be grandfathered? I don't know yet. Again, we have to wait till November. So in November 2021, they're going to provide all that information, such as registration, scheduling, administration, and the processing of exam scores. So we will find out all of that in November. This video is just to provide you with some information. And again, I will be watching the process of this, because with a new test means a new curriculum, and I have to sit and compare the Tasc curriculum with this new curriculum to see which of my videos can be used and which I would have to scrap. They still will be on YouTube because some of you are going to college and will need them. And also they're still good for GED as well. But I'm going to have to realign my entire curriculum with this new test. And again, these two curriculums will not match entirely. It's not going to be 100% match. It may be a 50% match when you look at the curriculum. And I have looked at the curriculum for both GED, Tasc, and HiSET, and I would say that some of the topics are the same and some of the topics are totally different when you look at the content. That being said, if you have partial scores, I would suggest that you try to get a test date and try to see if you can pass those Tasc tests that you have failed. For someone who have not taken the test as yet, don't get nervous. You're just going to be having to switch to a new curriculum in January and move from there. If you have any questions or comments about what's going on with the new Tasc test, please drop them in the comments. I'm going to try to answer them to the best of my ability. I will be watching the state's website all in November to see when they do drop that information, which is talking about what everyone wants to know: registration, scheduling, administration. Are they going to grandfather the scores? So I will be waiting to see when that is dropped so I can bring all that information to you. Informational video today. Anyone who's going to take their Tasc exam, Good luck. Anyone who's preparing, keep on task, keep positive, and enjoy life, I can say. This is not the end of the world. It's just a little hookup. Have a great day, folks.